Shall I switch on the light or leave it on? Guys, have a seat. We got Mr. Lance. Okay.
Hi guys, how you doing?
Good afternoon. Hello, sir.
Hello.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
He says anything, I'll start clapping.
Okay. I used to be on that side.
So Mr. Lance says, we got two apprentices. You can see one is Jason, and there's another one actually that. So we've been actually with Mr. Lance actually working, and we have good apprentices. So Jason is one of them. They have recently passed their tax processes, VAT return, payroll module, and Jason did very well actually, and the other actually apprentice. So they will be finishing possibly in May. Jason is going to take a little bit longer, but Camilla possibly is going to finish in March. Okay, so Mr. Lance possibly will hire one of you. Okay, but today we asked Mr. Lance to give you some information about the accounting profession, anything actually from his personal experience.
Okay. Hi everyone.
Hello.
Okay, so my name is Lance, Mr. Lance. Some people call me Mr. Lance. I'm also known as the black bean counter. Who knows what a bean counter is? Sir?
It's an old accountant. It's an old accountant. It's like an old way of calling it
So
accountant.
it's an old English phrase for an accountant. Okay, so when somebody decides to, you know how little beans are? Yeah? When somebody is called a bean counter, it means that they pay attention to detail. The most boring thing you can do next to watching paint dry. Yeah? So counting beans just simply means that you pay attention to detail. And that's what accounting is really all about. You're paying attention to detail. It's about people's money, people's life. Sometimes depend upon it. So that's why you cannot be careless. You've got to be diligent and face what you're doing. All right. So I'm sure you all took the right decision to pursue a career in accountancy. It's very, very exciting. Trust me. I graduated in 1986. Don't tell me I don't look it. Yeah, graduated in 1986, and I actually started working in accountancy in 1985, which was 40 years ago. Okay, some of you were just a dint in your parents' eyes. Yeah, so that's the journey, 40 years, and there's never been a boring moment, and it feels like it's yesterday. I started yesterday, so that's how good it's been. Okay, so Yasser's called me in here to sort of answer questions that you guys may have. Okay.
Another question. So what were the challenges you faced actually when you started your career? I'll ask from their behalf.
Very good question. Okay, so I'm going to take you to the beginning, right? I graduated in 1986, if you remember what I said. But 1985, I had to go out and work in a firm, in an accounting firm. All right. When I was looking for work, the bar was set so high. They said, "Oh, you either got to get a first or a 2-1 degree." All right. I can be very focused if I need to be. So I thought, okay, I'm going to aim for it. I'm going to try and aim for that. So what happened was that in the third year, because I did a business administration degree, in the third year, I needed to go and attend a year out working in a firm. When I applied to go to the firm, guess where they sent me? They sent me to the social services. That is, I graduated in Liverpool. They sent me to the social services and said, "That's what you're good for." I said, "But I didn't tell you that I want to be a social worker." So they still said, "Okay, what do you want to do?" I said, "I want to do finance. I want to do accounting and finance." So eventually they agreed to send me to the finance department of the council. So I spoke to somebody there at the council, and the guy said to me, "Listen, if you want to do finance or especially accounting, go to an accounting firm." So I applied to an accounting firm, and they said, okay, we'll try you out and see how you get on. And that's how the journey started. But once you're in, once you're through the door, you've got to make sure that your feet is firmly on the ground. And that's what I did. You've got to work your fingers to the bone. You know, you've got to work really hard. Jason reminds me of myself when I was younger, you know.
I'm not getting
Sorry?
No, nothing.
Yeah, we don't look the same, but you just remind me of myself when I was younger. You know. And yeah, so those were the challenges. Now I'm not trying to scare you. Racism actually does exist. People might pretend it doesn't exist, but it does. But at the end of the day, it's not about your color. It's about your competence. It's about how good you are. You know, so what I used to do was I used to make sure that, I used to read a lot in my spare time. So I'll be watching TV in the evening, but I'll be, revising my manuals, okay? And that's what's going to stand you out. You know, you're just going to be different from everybody else. So one of the challenges I used to have, to work in an accounting firm, you need experience, practical experience. So I used to get sent out to proper businesses. So one of them was a car showroom, all right? When I got there, the owner of the car showroom asked me who I was, and I said, I'm from the auditors. He didn't believe me, so he picked up the phone, he called the office and said, is this the person that we're expecting? His name is Lance. I said, yes. So the guy said, he walks in and he disappeared for about an hour. Didn't see him. When he came out, before he came out, my boss had called me, and my boss said, you've got to come back to the office. I said, why? He says, well, I'll explain to you when you get back to the office. So when I got back to the office, apparently, the guy said, we don't want him on our premises. Yeah? So I could have gone away being very bitter because of that, but I didn't. But luckily, I had a very good boss who said to the guy, listen, you've got to give him a chance. Try him, let him try out. So the guy gave me another opportunity, and guess what? The next 4 years, well, apart from 1986 when I went back to college to finish my degree, the next 4 years I spent in that client's. And they loved it. We loved each other. They loved me, I loved them. So that's what could happen. But don't forget, that was 1985. Things have changed since then. So there's diversity policy now. So you're not allowed to do those kind of things, I suppose. But these things existed then. Okay?
Anyone want to ask any questions?
So what firms did you work for?
Okay, so as an accountant, you can either work in industry or you can work in practice, in public practice. Okay? Industry is someone like BT. Yeah? Okay? Practice is Joe Block's Chartered Accountants. So I worked in Joe Block's Chartered Accountants. Well, that wasn't their name, but that's the example. So industry is specific, So if you worked in, say, BT, you will know all about telecommunications, how to account for them. But if you worked in Joe Block's Chartered Accountants, you get to do everything, all sorts of things. So today you could be doing a building contractor. Tomorrow you could be doing an IT contractor. Next tomorrow you could be doing a corner shop audit. So it's going to be up to you.
So what
Does that answer your question?
Yeah.
So what other accounting professions actually that you can do? Working in any other professions you can actually auditing, like there are other professions as well, like linked to accounts, if they qualify?
If they qualify. Okay, so one of the things that interested me in accountancy was that the firm I worked in, they represented footballers, okay? Footballers and musicians, all right? So I'll be in the office. Can you imagine the way we're all sitting here now? And who's a famous footballer? Mane. Mane? What's that Liverpool player? What's his name?
Sadio Mane.
Yeah, Mane, yeah. So you can imagine, you're sitting here, and through the glass door, you see Sadio Mane walking down the corridor. And that's what used to happen. So when I joined the firm, I used to see all these guys that I only saw on TV, on Match of the Day, you know. So I thought, this must be really good. And some of them looked like me. So I thought, yeah, I'd love to represent these guys. So that's how interesting public practice can be, you know. You can be representing a footballer today. Tomorrow you can be representing an actor on TV because they all have to pay their taxes. So that's the sort of variety that you get, you know.
So how long it took you to qualify as an accountant?
It usually takes about 4 years. Yeah, 4 years. After your degree, it takes 4 years, but the exams are actually very hard. They've compared it. They said the next hardest thing, or the most hardest exams to do, is brain surgery. After brain surgery, it's accounting. I don't know about that. I mean, if I can pass it, I mean, then it can't be that difficult, can it? But a lot of it is hard work. You just got to put in the hours. It can be really challenging. Yeah. Okay.
So all of them are young actually. So like you interviewed quite a few candidates.
Yeah.
So what qualities and what skills or what personality or what do you see in a potential actually candidate or ideal candidate?
See, first impressions are very important. When people see you, they judge you by your appearance, by the way you speak, by your manners even, all right? So if you go into a room, for example, and somebody say, please meet Mr. Lance, and then you say, hi Lance, yeah, red flag. I don't know why, but it's a red flag, you know? But if you say, oh, hello Mr. Lance, it's nice to meet you, blah, 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 you know,